It's been a while. I wanted to share with you about somatypology. It's a 7 types of the most leading hormone in the body that shapes the human body. It's author Konstantin Shadrin. Konstantin was a medical emergency doctor, and his experience was that when people had open wounds on the body, he could swear that he could feel by the smell of the blood how the hormones smell. Maybe you can tell that about insulin because that was his example. Nevertheless, he developed the whole theory of the 7 leading hormones, 7 basic hormones, but only one of them gets most activated at the moment of conception, when a man and woman, father and mother, make love and they conceive a child. Each one of us is like a very rare example who made it. We are already victorious. We are that 1 in a million who made it and embody the cell that became me, that became you. The largest in size with the large head, sometimes skinnier legs, sometimes possibly with a tummy, large tummy, but large body, and their voice is kind of like echoes. It's like really carrying voice. It's an oxytocin type. They can be quite tall as well. And oxytocin is the hormone that naturally, all the time, is being worked out in the body of this human being, man or woman. If it's a woman with the oxytocin type, she's quite bossy. The man may be a little bit more gentler, but still he is a boss. When you hug these people, literally, from the first 5 seconds, that oxytocin becomes part of you. If you are an oxytocin type, then it's easy for you to be in a good disposition, in the good moods, because your blood is carrying a lot of oxytocin. Even people around you know that and feel that. You are really good maybe at cracking jokes and making everyone laugh. You really, really care about the people that are close to you. If you don't have oxytocin but want an oxytocin, then you have to hug someone and at least hold that hug. Well, at 20 seconds, the oxytocin will be only just begin to make up in your body. So that's the largest person with a large head and with the voice that sometimes sounds like a thunder. If we go with the opposite, then we will encounter the smallest person. Quite often, maybe with even a smaller head, but actually, it's a called thyroid type. It's ladies kind of like birdie ladies, you know? And if it's a man, it's kind of like also like a small bone man. If you know the shapes by the planets, like the Jupiter person would be like oxytocin type, and Mercury person with a more slender bones, slender build, and among the 7 types, they are probably the shortest, possibly. So thyroid people, thyroid people. And the thyroid people, as it says, at the moment of conception, when the parents made love, the thyroid hormone got most activated in the future embryo. And thyroid is, the hormone here is called thyroid, right? And actually it's like a butterfly shaped. But this is like the hormones that T1, T2, T3, T4 that make up. Even though there is a brain-blood barrier, right? But these hormones penetrate the brain quite easy, and they excitate the brain. They make the brain think a lot of thoughts. And that's why these people have really fast metabolism, maybe sometimes. Brain kind of, repeats the all of the intestines in your abdomen by the shape. Like you open the walnut, yeah? It's a little bit wrinkled, but it's also kind of like I don't know if the walnut does remind us the gut structure, the large intestine and all the small intestine in between, yeah? With the belly button being kind of like in the middle and a little bit maybe lower. The thyroid people sometimes keep slender for a very long time, possibly because they have high metabolism and possibly because the brain thinks zillion thoughts a minute and that digests, that burns a lot of energy, and that energy asks for more food. Thyroid people do put some fat layers with the time, though. Yeah, when they're younger, it's a lot easier to recognize them and say, yeah, that is a thyroid person. And interestingly, opposites attract. And sometimes the small, slender women and these really large guys kind of like make best partners, long lasting relationships. The next opposites that I would talk about, what I'm thinking, who is the tallest? Tallest men, sometimes a little awkward because of their tallness. Maybe sometimes is even like, if they didn't do the self-development work, maybe like when you are a teenager and you are tall, you kind of like start hiding your tallness and maybe kind of like getting a little bit like this, shoulders up, neck down, and neck forward, because these people, they are called somatotropin. It's a hormone called somatotropin. And it's a hormone that lengthens everything in the body. They have very long fingers, quite long arms or legs, a long structure, a long spine, long face sometimes. And this hormone somatotropin makes their thoughts kind of like longer. Maybe they don't think as fast as thyroid person, but they think long thoughts. That's why they love logic and analysis. Quite often they are quite into the news and they have to analyze all the news, maybe participate by writing. They actually make probably, I really love somatotropins. I love when the thought, one thought continuously goes into another thought, into a third thought, logically envelops, develops, evolutionary. There is everything in chain, everything is connected. I love that about somatotropins. Somatotropin ladies, skinny, tall ladies, quite often make the models, like in a fashion world. Yeah, yeah. I didn't have many friends of somatotropin ladies, so I cannot tell you if they love logics. Actually, Melania Trump probably would be a good example. I don't know what tall she is, but I think she's pretty tall. And now, knowing Chinese astrology, I find it a lot more entertaining and a lot more carrying on information and a lot more descriptive. I want to say encryptive, inscriptive about when you see a chart made of nature elements and 12 animals. I think you can make a picture of a human being, like read the character a lot better than just like by somatypology. But still, when I see people or like famous people on TV, famous politicians, more or less, I can read them as the leading hormone in their body. So the somatotropins, as we said, much into analysis. They can be withdrawn. They can be more introverted, like if oxytocin is extraverted, all out there, even though oxytocin likes to take the silent time for himself. Because oxytocin person is also like their interests are well diverse. And so it doesn't, diversity of the interest doesn't happen without introversion. When you are extrovert and you are all the way out, 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 then you don't know what's inside you. Sometimes oxytocin are in a hurry and maybe they don't know the inside of themselves as well, I would say, as somatotropin. So if we say, and if we designate somatotropin type as the tallest and most analytical, loving logic, especially men, then who do we go to? Who would I put the somatotropin as the opposite with? I said oxytocin. I said thyroid type. I said somatotropin. Let me just name the rest four. Insulin type, melatonin type, and then MSG type, melanocyte-stimulating hormone. And what am I leaving out? Adrenaline. Adrenaline. If I take somatotropin, and if I would talk about somatotropin opposite, I could probably go with two types. Okay, let's take as a next type, as the number 4, melatonin type. Melatonin type are the people who have the most undefined shape. Speaking of, like, they can be really full in their body, and their skin has the least amount of testosterone. So it's kind of like the Russian word rychly, rychly. So which means like if you press on it, like it would, all the fingers would like leave the white spots, um, yeah, their body keeps the most amount of water in the tissues. And that water makes it like the shape of their body somewhat unidentified, larger, um, and kind of soft and volumous. They usually have very fair complexion, and maybe round the face, but also quite often they're naturally blonde hair, and their voice sometimes possibly sounds most seductive, like in Russian cinema and theater. There is this lady. I wonder if I will remember her name now. She's actually absolutely, I mean, she's on a skinny side, but nevertheless, she's melatonin. And She is very, she is very theater-wise and kind of like her speech is very stylish. You will certainly see her name and maybe even a photo here. I will add later. The melatonin people, they are really good owl people, you know, their energy actually like begins after it gets dark outside. And they love to stay well into the midnight and maybe later because they are like full of energy then, right? And actually, it's kind of like, I don't know how it goes well with the theory because melatonin is the hormone that helps us to go to sleep. If we don't have the right amount of melatonin, we stay awake. So at the moment, it puzzles me why melatonin people are the most awake after it gets dark. Well, planet-wise, it's I skipped of telling to you what is somatotropin planet-wise. They are actually Saturnian. Consider that they're Saturnian people. So, and melatonin are the moon people, moon. So maybe that is why when it's dark, they have the most energy because the moon is out. And they get nurtured by that moon. In the morning, they might be late sleepers. They might be like melatonin people. You know, their personality is quite subdued. They can be very quiet, but they are really, really amazing about gritty things. In Russian, there is a saying about what do they do to the horses? The horseshoe, yeah? About the melatonin being able to put a horseshoe on a mosquito. Yeah. So they are really good about noticing all the tiny details, being really logical, scrupulous in digging out the most extraordinary details, like going into like a tiny holes of consciousness. They make the best writers. They are really good with the word, with the mastery of the word. Yeah. So those are melatonin people. By the way, it is kind of like anecdotal about them that they complain a lot. You know, like little talk about like complaining, whining about something, and but at the same time, with their health, they actually make the best survivors. They can complain but live a long life. And even like if like a plane has a crash, I believe there is some sort of statistics that a melatonin person somehow will be the first to survive. Personally, I don't know. I just trust what I heard in those long lectures I listened to. Melatonin also can be as introverted as a somatotropin, even though after they handle their shyness, and they open their mouth to actually communicate and talk, they make really good communicators because they are quite the masters of the word, yeah? And if they are masters of the word, then they are masters of consciousness. I could right now divert and go into tarot major arcana and talk about the moon arcana or high priestess arcana, which are connected, and talk about melatonin. I wonder if they're the best keepers of secrets, melatonin type. Like thyroid type will have a hard time to keep secrets because they're sometimes like a little birdies, yeah? And secret is out. Yeah, so because of the introverted nature, I kind of wonder if somatotropin and melatonin type, they are both quiet. They both like the quiet time, the silence. They might be making not bad partners. But actually, in my 5 years ago education, which is like one of my 9 diplomas, I have the charts and I'll make sure if they are made good. Maybe actually I will make another video about which types connect the best and make the best like partners. Next type I would like to speak about is the insulin type, meaning that when the parents made love, the insulin as a hormone was most activated in that moment when the sperm met the cell that became the egg. You can tell insulin type by really nice, beautiful hair, voluminous hair. Sometimes they have these dimples in the cheeks, but the most feature is a skinnier waist, sometimes really good bust, maybe really good butt, but skinnier waist and good amount, probably good skin as well. And somatotropin can have quite a bit of muscle, but kind of like lean muscle. Oxytocin has really good amount of muscle, but also some fat deposits. And insulin could have some shapelier forms, and and thyroid would be actually have the least amount of fat deposits. Okay, so insulin type are the people who are well into the arts because it's a Venus as a planet representing them. And insulin people, they are the most sensual people. They love food. They may love long bath. They love art. Their voices sometimes, quite often, sound really, really beautiful as they project their voice. It sounds kind of like sweet, maybe a little earthy, but sweet with some sort of not too sweet, but with kind of like really soft sweet, you know? I don't know, with a bit of an enigma as well. And insulin people are the people who love community parties. They are good at bringing people together, and they are good. And their basic motto is, can everyone get along? Can we all be friends? And so they love to stay away from the conflict. Speaking of conflict, it's my next type. Going back to the opposites for a second, we talked about oxytocin with the largest chest, tall, large head, and then opposite, the smallest person, thyroid person. Then we talked about the tallest person, somatotropin. Then we talked about most undefined body person, melatonin. And then we talked about shapely, nice hair, let's get along, insulin person. And so that oxytocin, thyroid, melatonin, insulin, somatotropin, So that's oxytocin, thyroid, somatotropin, melatonin, insulin. And now we will go to the most adrenaline person, most muscular person, most active person, which is adrenaline person. Adrenaline. Most testosterone. Check out the other video about 5 erotic types, erotic blueprints. An adrenaline person will be the person who will be sexual type. Like maybe not even much preview. Let's get into it. They are most muscularly defined. The butt, even with the ladies, like really shaped out with the ladies. And they are ready like to get into the action. And it makes them the prevalence of testosterone that I'm not quite sure how the testosterone and adrenaline, how they, I mean, it's probably they kind of like float together the most. And it's the most action people, and exactly that fact makes their consciousness a little bit like one directed. The adrenaline person, it's hard for adrenaline person to keep 2-3 tasks at the same time. It's a thyroid person that is the best at making like 5-6 even things at the same time. 2-3 easy for a thyroid person. For adrenaline person, they are one task. So if you are a married adrenaline man, don't overwhelm him, giving him 2 directions at once. He will be at a loss. If you want him to accomplish something, give him only one task at a time. And when he's done with that, present the other task. And if you are smart planning ahead, then just like mention just 2 things, not the 3 or 4 things for tomorrow. And then in the morning, remind that person. So that is our adrenaline person. And now for the dessert is melanocyte-stimulating hormone. By the way, out of 7, the testosterone is most pronounced in adrenaline, in oxytocin, and in MSG, melanocyte-stimulating hormone. They also, as oxytocin, have larger head, and they have quite defined deltoid muscle. Sometimes their shoulder is like, it's supposed to be like a little like more pronounced than the lower body, the hips, and I cannot tell them, it's a somatotropin ladies, like more like a flat plank though. MSG people, they are MSG people kind of like mostly beautiful shaped people. And melanocyte-stimulating hormone is a very interesting hormone. In English, I searched, I didn't search now, but I searched then, back in time, and I hardly found anything in English language speaking about melanocyte-stimulating hormone. It's a hormone like pituitary, has the frontal pituitary, the middle pituitary, and the back pituitary. And the hormones are made like in the back and in the front, and it is said that nothing in the middle. But actually, just exactly in the middle is made this melanocyte-stimulating hormone that makes this person like a sunshine. And it makes quite a bit of it from the positions of yoga. The moon fills and the hormones start going down, 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 overfilling all the body with bliss. So melanocyte-stimulating hormone, even without meditating, they are naturally made so that their brain, that big head, because of that, It thinks really well, and it makes a lot of the hormones of these happiness hormones. And these are sunshine people who want to share that sunshine with everyone. It's a sun people. If the melatonin is a moon people, then the melanocyte MSG people, they are like the sun people. And if you can visualize, like most models, I think they are still tall and skinny, somatotropin type. But the MSG people are actually like some of the most beautiful women, like insulin women. They're really amazing with, like, sometimes even like larger eyes and like this really beautiful hair that like so charms, and their skin and their manners that like greet like everyone, make comfortable, feel everyone. But these MSG people, they are just like sunshine. They have to shine and they have to inspire everyone. So there you go, my dear people. Please comment if you would like me to make a video about my first ever kiss and maybe my last first kiss. And they both were kind of like gigantic and sort of like exploding. When even like car would stop working, or would like huge bubble would kind of like burst that will envelop us and would like hold us and carry us for a long time. So anyway, how did you like this video? Was I making more sense? Are you happy to see me? Are you happy to greet me back? Your wonderful, beautiful Zuni Blue of 16 years. Are you with me? Will you support me subscribing? Would you like me to make a donation button? Would you love to donate? Oh, wow. Turkmen believe when your left palm itches, it's to the money. And I was a little bit moneyless. Anyway, I'm so happy to be back with you. All the blessings to you. Circles, they wind up in the wrong place. At least I've learned to be more systematic in speaking to you.